All right, guys, before we get into the rambling, let's run through social media real quick. And don't forget to give me a follow if you're on Twitter and Instagram, because a lot of times throughout the week, if I'm building something that just, doesn't really necessarily require a entire video, I will usually just tweet it out or I'll put it on Instagram. So yeah, jump on over there and follow me. Sometimes I put personal stuff on there like Mr. Houdini you see here, dressed up like a shark for Halloween. But yeah, like I said, a lot of just, little random stuff that I do. I typically post it on Instagram and Twitter first, and then, the bigger stuff like this, I actually save for videos. So yeah, all of it is at Sdanwolf. So Twitter and Instagram, you can both find me. Just search for Sdanwolf, and I'm on there. And also, the links to this stuff is always in the description box of these videos. And yeah, last but not least, don't forget to subscribe if you want to be a part of this. We are, trying to build an army here. So we're about 1,103 now. So we still have work to do.
We have work to do.
And you can come back and, partake in all this bit of Planet Coaster weirdness with me. And hopefully, with the fall time getting here and stuff, I'll have some, hopefully, branch out a little bit. I tried some Sid Meier's Pirates a couple weeks ago, and hopefully, can maybe just branch out and might put a poll out on Twitter and see what you guys would like to see, what kind of games you're playing right now, and see if I can get my hands on it and see if I can give it a go and, maybe give you guys some other reasons to come back with, other than just Planet Coaster going on. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Yeah, guys, so as you saw, it drops November 22nd, update 1.4, their big anniversary update. I know a lot of you guys are probably excited for the scenario editor. Really something that I probably won't ever mess with, but, up to this point, I've never even clicked on the campaign or anything like that. So I'm, strictly a sandbox player. That's just kind of what that's the enjoyment that I get out of these type of games. Just no restrictions, sandbox stuff. So I know there was there's some slowness swirling around Planet Coaster right now, it seems. I don't think it's just for me. I mean, yeah, I think some of my laziness may kind of tap into that Planet Coaster dead slowness time, because guys like John T, Geekism, and Rudy, and those guys are still putting out pretty regular content. So mine, I think, is just a mixture of just not having the time, mixed in with a little bit of laziness, mixed in with some unmotivation. One of the things that's a little different this time is I don't feel as hyped yet, or particularly with this update, as I typically am. I don't know if it really has anything to do with the rollout as much as it has. I think I internally hyped it up more than what I should have, because the things I was thinking, like a lot of you probably were, was never even hinted at by Frontier. So, like when Andy, I remember sitting here that day and, on the Planet Coaster stage and watching the live stream from the Frontier Expo, I literally almost crapped my pants when we were waiting for them to announce what the, what the big sticking point for update 1.4 was. And I know what you guys were thinking: Planet Coaster Water Park DLC, Planet Coaster Safari. I was waiting for that myself. I had totally hyped myself up for some kind of, massive expansion, really just ready to take us to the next level. So that was really kind of on me. I really laid the disappointment on me because no one from Frontier, Bo, Sam, Andy, Paige, none of those guys said anything to the effect of, a big, expansion or, DLC, whatever you call it, type release. They, the most that they give out was they said And that probably threw me for a loop too when they said, you know, a groundbreaking update. And, you know, in their defense, to some people, this scenario editor is groundbreaking. That is big time. And, but, you know, just for sandbox players like me, that is not really, it's just not really groundbreaking to us. But a lot of cool stuff is coming out with this, and my number one takeaway from Update 1.4 has to be the swapping of the trains. Because you all know, if you followed me for a long time, I've wanted to recreate Fire Chaser Express from Dollywood and never really could get that mine train type layout to look right. So I already know, you know, right now, just by reading some of Sam's comments and, you know, just going over some of the different ideas that I've had, I think mixing some of the, like the launch torque track with using the mine train coaster, I think I'm going to be able to achieve that Fire Chaser Express authentic feel, a lot easier than what I'm trying to do right now. Like you may have seen in Adventure Point with Fire Mountain, kind of like a loose interpretation of Fire Chaser Express. So, you know, that is what really has me pumped up the most. Some of the update language that come out today, talking about some autumn type trees. I think Commando Santa told me that they were really only that you could recolor, some of the trees were recolored as autumn trees. So, you know, at this point, I think any attention that's being brought to foliage is awesome with me. I mean, I'm at the point where I would definitely pay for a foliage DLC pack, because that is one of my big, really brings me a lot of entertainment, a lot of enjoyment, laying out different landscapes and using different bushes and trees. And I really think that's kind of lacking at this point in the development. We definitely have to get some more foliage out there. And yeah, so like I said, that was my biggest letdown of the expo, was kind of like being on the edge of my seat for the Andy C, kind of like the big reveal.
Many years ago, I used to love playing RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, and the thing I really, really liked doing was creating my own scenarios and sharing them and playing them, mostly just playing them myself. So I'm proud to announce the Planet Coaster Scenario Editor is coming in the 1.4 update.
And then somebody wrote to me on one of our private forums. He was like, "What the was that?" So at that point, I was like, "Oh man, I really was not expecting to hear scenario editor." I'm kind of looking over at Sam like,
"Say something, I'm giving up on you."
But then usually, like always, with Frontier, I mean, I'd almost say they're a little weird. Like they're really, they hold a lot of stuff to their cuff, you know, right until the moment they're ready to start releasing stuff. And it seems like every time, you know, we kind of get sucked into freaking out or thinking stuff, you know, isn't the way that we thought it was going to be. And then information slowly starts trickling out, and then you're like, we kind of, you know, threw a big fit, but I think this is going to be pretty cool. And just like even today, Nimi was on the forums, and he was like, you know, the autumn trees are really nice. You know, really going to be cool to play with the new features. But he's like, I've got one question. We've been missing an Intamin launch coaster with a more generic train from the get-go, and this new coaster looks great. Will we be able to make it invert and alternatively have a normal lift hill, or is it going to be really similar to the race car themed one that's already in the game? And then, like you just saw, we had Spoiler Sam come in. He said, so I thought I'd drop a little spoiler in here. You may have noticed that there's something odd about this screenshot, and it is it's the racer completely inverted. So he says, normally this coaster cannot invert due to the in-game manufacturer's restrictions. The 1.4 release will contain a little gem that I know a lot of the community who we love and cherish will love and cherish. We're going to be removing some of the restrictions on the roller coasters. We've been busy experimenting with making this work, and we found that we can provide the following options without seriously breaking things. All steel coasters can now do full loops. They can also invert fully using banking. Wooden and hybrid coasters can go up to 85 degrees on slopes and can now fully invert using banking. The exception is Hop the Gaps, which can go on 85 degree slopes and can bank to 85 degrees, which is way beyond its default. The affected parts are the default track pieces. Some other track pieces that use ride parameters will be able to take advantage of these changes, but anything with specific parameters, like chain lifts, will be unaffected by the restrictions. No tracked rides or transport rides are affected. The option to remove restrictions will be in the main options menu under the gameplay settings tab as a tick box. Hope everyone enjoys the new freedom, and I can't wait to see what madness comes of this. Much love, Sam. So my point is, a lot of times we really freak out, and some people think that Frontier's communication is a little off, or it's kind of it's sporadic and shoddy, and I even have to agree with that point, to an extent. I just think, sometimes they ask for feedback from us, and I think sometimes just the communication, the way they rolled stuff out. Take, for instance, like a couple of us were talking as far as communication goes about the Rocky kind of spooky rollout. And one of our things that we took from it, as a community was, we think they waited too long to show the actual trailer. Like once they showed what they were going to show, and all it was like a little animated Planet Coaster banner, and then they started talking about the price and what it was going to be. It really just set everybody on fire, and it was a dumpster fire from that point on, until the actual video come out, like it was either the day before or the day of the actual spooky DLC release, and almost every one of us said, my God, if they would have just played that trailer instead of just a Planet Coaster banner animation, this whole episode they had to go through with this negativity probably would have never happened. It was an awesome trailer. I mean, we would have, like I said, the whole narrative would have been different if we would have saw the trailer up front instead of just pictures all week. Video is what gets the community hyped, and I think they'll learn from that. I know today we just got the Planet Coaster, the animated Planet Coaster banner, but this is a free update. It's a normal update, so shouldn't get much flack for that because it's free. But I think hopefully they'll learn from the spooky DLC, and when they're gonna charge for something, they need to come out packing a punch and slap everybody in the damn face right when they come out and show us why it's worth it to buy it, and not just a little Planet Coaster animation of telling what it is. So, guys, that's my 2 cents worth. And Frontier, just know, if we didn't criticize and we didn't, always just go with the flow, that would mean we didn't care. We're still here with you. It's been a year. You've got us, and it's all love. We just, a lot of us are very passionate about this game, and we want to see it do the best it can. And like I said, if we didn't care about it, we still wouldn't be here. I mean, there's thousands of games out there, we could be playing, but, we're holding it down with you here. And, I played the original RollerCoaster Tycoon. I mean, RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 come out in 2004. I was probably 17 when that come out. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a I'm a 30-year-old man, and I still am still here sticking it out with you all. So we're definitely in it for the long haul. Wolfpack, thank you. Frontier, thank you. Smash that like button if you end up enjoying this video. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you. And I will catch you in the next video. See ya.